Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us to our annual Bridge to Kindergarten information session. We're so happy to have you here with us tonight. Let me introduce myself. I'm Mrs. Siriboa Rhodes. I'm your admissions coordinator here at the school, and I'm usually the person you'll speak to when you call the front office. Here with me in the room tonight is our administrator, Mr. Kevin Lewis, as well as our lead kindergarten teacher, Ms. Rebecca Bressler. At home, remotely, we have our assistant administrator, Ms. Kim Snyder. Give us a wave, Ms. Snyder. And we have two additional kindergarten teachers, Mrs. Julie Hatcher. Give us a wave, Hatcher. And Mrs. Alyssa Dawn Morales. Give us a wave. So we're very glad that you have joined us here this evening. Just a few things for you as we get started. We're going to ask that you remain on mute throughout the presentation. If you have questions, you are welcome to put them into the chat for us. And we will have families joining us along the way. So by the time we get to the end, hopefully we will have answered all of your questions. But if not, you're more than welcome to put them into the chat and we'll go through those questions when we get to the end. And Ms. Snyder may even jump in the chat and answer those things for you. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lewis now, who will lead us in prayer and greetings.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you. Hope you hear me fine. And I'm just so glad that you are with us tonight. We don't take for granted the fact that you're looking at our school. So I'm going to open up in prayer and just share a few thoughts about our school. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity tonight to talk with these families as they search for options for their rising kindergarten students. And we just look forward to sharing what we do here at Calvary Road, how your hand of providence has been on us, and be with us now as we pass this information on and answer questions. We just have you ask your hand of providence on us now. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, as Ms. Rose shared with you, my name is Kevin Lewis. I've been serving here as the administrator now going my 7th year. Calvary Road has been actually around, been in existence we're finishing our 45th year. And it's been a tremendous ministry here that we serve in. The mission here, and you've probably been on our website and seen this, is that we are a Christian school naturally. We stand on the biblical blueprint of God's word, and we teach children how they can be academically excellent, how they can develop Christian character, how they can serve others, and how they can find their purpose in life. We tell them that God has created them for that purpose. And so as that, we look forward to being able to raise up children who then become model scholars and students who go out in the world and serve our Creator in their purpose. We are very competitive as a school. We very well. We test ahead of the Fairfax County Public School or the national standard for schools. And so we are just excited to be able to show you and take you through the program that we have for you tonight. So I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Rebecca Bressler, who's our lead kindergarten teacher. Let her get into the details of our program tonight.
Hello, families. My name is Ms. Rebecca Bressler. I've been teaching here for 16 years, 15 years of it in kindergarten. Kindergarten is my favorite because I get to see so much growth and development from a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old to a proud first grader ready to read and to learn and to continue on with their education journey. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our kindergarten program. I'm going to be talking kind of about the day in the life kind of an idea. And then I'm also going to talk to you through our curriculum, and then I'll show you a brief tour of our classroom. So from day one, the first thing we do is we talk about classroom rules and routines. We want to make sure that this is a safe learning environment for your child. We talk about working together as part of the community. We also talk about making sure that they understand that as a part of the community, we are encouraging each other and building each other up. So we talk through how a day is supposed to run. We practice all of our procedures and all of our routines so your child becomes a kindergarten expert. As a part of working together with the students in our classroom, we work on taking turns. We work on using our words to problem solve. We also have classroom jobs so everyone feels like that they're a part of the community. And kindergartners really live up to the standard that we have of taking responsibility for their classroom environment. They're very good about keeping it clean, about working together, and about helping our kindergarten program run smoothly so it can be a safe learning environment for everyone. As a Christian school, one of the first things we will do is we have Bible. In our Bible curriculum, we are working on learning about how God created us, and as a result, how we love Him and we also love others. Each week we have a scripture verse that we're learning that we then apply to our lives. Some of the things we cover in Bible is creation, how God created us. We also talk about Old Testament heroes like Joshua and David and Moses. And we also cover the life of Jesus, his death, his burial, and his resurrection. A big part of kindergarten is phonics and reading. Our goal when your child leaves kindergarten is for them to be an independent reader with skills that they can use to decode future reading endeavors. So we break this up into phonics instruction through short vowel sounds, long vowel sounds, consonants, and consonant blend. We also talk about reading skills, learning to decode by using our phonics. We also learn by looking at the picture. We also are decoding by basing it on context. We also have a strong base of sight words that your child will learn throughout the year. We also take those reading skills and turn them into writing skills through spelling and through our writing journals. Your child will also be taught how to write Chameleon style, which is a form of handwriting. And this transfers very well into our second and third graders when they start to learn cursive. Another part of reading is reading groups. Your child will also take place in a small reading group format where they work on individualized reading skills based on their level. In math, we want to give your child a positive interaction with math concepts. So we are giving hands-on instruction. Anytime that we can make it active, we're making it active. Some things that we cover in math are understanding the concept of place value, skip counting, addition and subtraction, basics of geometry, and measurement. In science, we want to make sure that your child understands the world around them through their senses. So we start off the year by talking about their bodies and how God created them. We also talk about transportation using forces like pushes and pulls and gravity. We will also talk about living things, animals, and what makes each animal unique. And we will also talk about non-living things like the weather, like planets, and like the earth. In social studies, we want to give them an understanding of the people around them. So we're going to be talking about community helpers. We're going to be talking about cultures of the world and also about our country. We also take time to talk about different holidays. If you're interested in our kindergarten program, one of the things that I do as a kindergarten teacher is I give your child an assessment. We want to make sure that your child is ready for our kindergarten program. Here are some things I'm looking for. I want to know if they can recognize their uppercase and lowercase letters. Do they know the sound that goes with that letter? And can they name a word? In math, we're looking for, can they count to 10? Can they count a set of numbers? We're also looking at their fine motor skills. Can they write their name? We're also looking at school readiness skills. Can they separate from you and come with me to the classroom? Can they also follow simple one-step directions? Are they able to take a direction and follow through with it? And we're also looking at their communication skills. Are they able to express themselves? Can they express themselves clearly? Now I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of our classroom and what it looks like. I'm going to show you a student desk. Here's a student desk format set up for our coaches. We have each student has their very own desk with a chair pocket where they can put their things. They also have a chair cushion for them to be able to sit on the floor. We try to make sure that they understand that these are their responsibilities. Another part of our classroom that's very important is our small group instruction area. This is the part of the room where students come back to meet in small groups for math instruction, for reading instruction as well, and also for individualized practice. I'm now going to turn it over to Mrs. Rhodes, who's going to explain a little bit more about the admission process.
All right. So let me walk you through what our admissions process is like. If you are already a CRCS family, meaning that your child is currently enrolled in our preschool 4 program, your enrollment process will take place on SchoolSpeak. That means you log into your SchoolSpeak account, you click on the re-enrollment tab that's on the side, if you're on a desktop or a laptop computer, and that will walk you through the steps of updating your profile, choosing your extended care needs for next year, and it's simply enrolling your child re-enrolling your child into the school year, into school for next year. If you are a brand new family to CRCS, then you will need to go through the full admissions process, which would include completing a family and student questionnaire, as well as a new student application. These are both found on our website, and I will send you a link to that document just to make it a little easier for you. So that application, again, has 2 parts. You will see 3 parts there, but as a kindergarten family, You will only need to complete the last two parts. As you fill them out, be sure that you are filling them out separately and submitting them separately. You don't want to complete both documents and then submit both at the same time because we'll only receive the last one that you complete. So again, fill out your new student questionnaire and submit that, and then your new student application. Once that is received, it will be reviewed by both Mr. Lewis and Ms. Snyder, and then we'll call you in for your admissions test. Now, we do conduct admissions testing throughout the spring and into the summer. If it's done during the school year, that appointment would take place in the afternoon, sometime around 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. During the summer, those testings can take place in the morning or throughout the day during the summertime. And each appointment is an individual appointment, and it is a one-on-one test done usually with our lead kindergarten teacher, Ms. Bressler, where she'll take your child through some exercises, some number recognition, some letter recognition, and assure that they are ready to come to our kindergarten. Once that testing is done and your child has passed the test and you've been accepted, then the next step is to meet with Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis does meet with every family one-on-one. That could either be in person or it could be virtual, given the atmosphere that we're still in. So once you've tested, been accepted, and had your meeting with Mr. Lewis, then it is time for you to decide that yes, CRCS is the place for our family. And at that time, when you're ready to make a commitment, you would then submit your registration fee. That registration fee is $460 and it is paid by every student every year. Now, as a thank you for you joining us tonight and for learning about our program, we would like to drop that fee down for your child's kindergarten year to $410. So we'll take $50 off of your current registration. Well, wait, Mrs. Rose, I already go there and my child is already there. Do I get the discount too? Yes, you do. So if you are currently a CRCS family and you've taken the time to join us this evening, you will get an additional $50 off of your registration fee, bringing your kindergartner's annual registration fee, if done during the month of January, current families, down to $360. We would like new families to go ahead and make their commitment to us and get that application in within the month of February to give you the best chance for having an entry into our program. And again, if you do that during the month of February, we will offer you that $50 off. Our campus is operating on a healthy only campus right now, which means that we are limiting visitor access, but we certainly can make an appointment for you to come in one-on-one and either meet with Mr. Lewis or take a tour of our school. Those appointments are done in the evenings right now. So we have appointments available Monday through Thursday, and we would entertain you at about 5:30 in the evening. So if you would like to take a tour of our campus, see our classrooms in person, see our gymnasium, see our music room and the other facilities that we have, then we do welcome you to send me an email, and you can send that to admissions@crcs.org, and I'd be more than happy to get you on Mr. Lewis's calendar. Before we open up the floor for questions, I also want to mention that we are actively planning, hoping, and praying to offer you Camp Crusader this summer. And Camp Crusader is a 9-week summer camp experience that is open to our current students as well as the wider community. And it's 9 weeks of faith, fun, and friendship where the kids are just active all day. And it's kind of sneaky learning. They don't really know that they're learning, but we are getting those STEM exercises in there and making sure that even though they're having fun, that they're still getting that learning in throughout the summer. I'm going to open the floor for questions. So if you have questions, please feel free to put them into the chat and we will go ahead and answer those for you. Let me also say that if you have a nickname listed, please put your real name into the chat because we want to offer you credit for attending tonight. And so we do need to know your name so that it matches up with your child's application. In addition, if you were referred to us by a friend of yours, we also ask that you put their name on the application. It will ask you who referred you, and we love to know where our families come from. So let's see. So Mrs. Maldonado would like to know, do students who currently attend CRCS P4 take the readiness assessment, or is it only for new students? So that readiness assessment is only for new students. If your child is currently in preschool 4, we are responsible for the learning that they have, and we are making it our duty to make sure that they are kindergarten ready. Your child's teacher, be that Mrs. Kim or the other Mrs. Rhodes or Ms. Ortiz, is making sure that they are working on those basic skills to get them kindergarten ready. And so with that end, they're doing one-on-one evaluations constantly, maybe every 2 weeks or so. They're sitting with your child and making sure they're kindergarten ready. And so if there are any issues, if there are any areas that need to be worked on, certainly your child's teacher would reach out to you and make sure that we're working on those skills and we're reinforcing them at home. So there will not be a formal kindergarten test for current CRCS students. What date does enrollment open for current CRCS families? So it's open. School Speak re-registration opened on January 1st, and the applications are pouring in for new students as well. We begin to review new student applications on February 1st. That means if you are a current CRCS family, I beg of you, please go ahead and complete your registration now so that come February 1st, we have a really good idea of how many new students we can let into our building and can join us as new Crusaders.
There's a question just above that. About
Sure.
How many students are we going to enroll in the first class getting COVID?
Okay, I'm going to shoot that to Ms. Snyder, who is going to answer that question. Can you see if they're all right, Ms. Snyder?
Yes. Currently, we have 40. We have 3 classrooms, and depending on the room size and how many we can fit, that's what we based our number off this year. Next year, it's still to be determined. If we are still in this state of COVID mitigations, it will be very similar. If we're not, then we will open it up a little further, but kindergarten always caps at 18, whether it's COVID or not COVID year. I will tell you that the enrollments, the registrations and the calls that we are getting for next year from from families not in our school has exceeded even what I saw last year so far. And I am just begging you, if you are our family, get your registration in by January, because you may be the one to miss out. And if you're someone who wants to come into our program, get it in February. The sooner you get it in, the better.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Snyder. So the question was asked of a current family, do the parents who are already enrolled in P4 pay the registration fee? So for current CRCS families whose children are right now in our preschool 4 classes, yes, your registration fee is $460. If you register during the month of January, we will take $50 off of that registration. Because you are attending tonight, we will take an additional $50 off of that registration. When you re-register via School Speak, you will see the option of how you want to pay that now $360. The options are to pay in full on your next month's fax payment. So that means if you register during the month of January, then on one of your February fax payments, the charge of $360 will be there. Or you can split that in half and pay one in February, one half in February, and one half in March. You'll be given that option and you will have to make that decision at the time of re-registration. When will the decision about summer camp be made? Well, we are actively working toward it, and our best hope is that we will have it. We're going to issue online applications on February 1st, prayerfully. So that decision will remain intact. And just like last year, we were ready to go, and we did have to pull back because of the health climate that we are in. So at this point, we are moving ahead. And if need be, then of course we will pull back for the health and safety of your children and for our staff. But we hope that when you check our website on February 1st, we'll be sending out an email blast and you will be able to go ahead and register for summer camp. Will there be enrichment classes in the fall? Spanish, music, etc. So our kindergarten through 6th graders have maintained their enrichment classes throughout the school year. The way we've serviced them has been a little different. So instead of the children going into the music classroom, Dr. Elliott has come to their classroom. In order for the health and safety of our preschoolers, we did make that decision that any music lessons they have, any enrichments they have would be given by their classroom teacher, because we just felt it was important to limit the staff that were interacting with the preschoolers. Well, once your child hits kindergarten, they are hitting the ground running. And they will have Spanish class, they will have art class, they will have music class, they will have PE class with those specialty teachers. Is there any room for expansion next year? Why, thank you, Mrs. Butler. It is always being considered. Expansion is always being considered. You know, we have to look at the physical space. And so while we might have the capacity to hold 50 kindergartners, the number of actual children per class may look different. So even this year, Ms. Bressler has more children assigned to her classroom than Mrs. Morales, simply because the physical space cannot take any additional children. We're going to do whatever we can safely for the children as well as for our staff and maintain a quality education. So we certainly don't want to pack the classes at the sake of quality of education.
If I can just jump in there for a second, one of the things that we are struggling with in a very good way is we are growing, and we have been growing for the last 4 years. So every year what we do is we look at the enrollments. For example, this year in kindergarten, we had 40 students, but in first grade, we had 52 students. So if I just do the simple math of what that will look like next year, currently we have 3 kindergartens and 3 first graders. Well, you have 52 first graders. If all of them move up, then you have to do something with second grade. So we have 1 more classroom. Not sure who gets it because we need another 4th grade as well. But if we don't have as many first graders next year, then we would just move one of our teachers around. So we are running out of space. And if any of you happen to have a good 10 or $15 million and would like to build us a building right in that nice grassy area, we won't say no.
The next question there is, can we discuss technology in the classroom? I'm going to throw that to Ms. Bressler since she is using this technology on a regular basis.
So technology looks a little different this year. Normally we have an iPad cart that goes around and we share the iPad, and we also had 3 classroom computers. But because of our current climate, each student right now has their very own Chromebook, which they use to log on to a program called Seesaw that we use for online learning and in classroom learning as well, where students are interacting with material and making videos and creating pictures using the cursor. We also have online programs through SplashLearn, which we use for math. We also use Vocabulary Spelling City for spelling. And we also use Reading A to Z for our reading program. So each student currently has their very own Chromebook that they use every single day for different purposes.
Okay, and continue to put your real name in the chat if your nickname is listed as your profile name. So the question is asked from the Cradocks. Are those who were previously enrolled last year but not now considered new for registration processes? Yes and no. That is a unique situation. You will not need to complete a brand new application, but you will need to go through the kindergarten testing process. So if you are a family who was with us for preschool 3 and did not join us for preschool 4, please email me and say, hey, we would like to reactivate our son's enrollment or our child's enrollment, and that will put you on the list and put you in the queue for testing. You will not have to complete a brand new school application because you're already in the school speak system, but your child will have to take the kindergarten admissions test to make sure that they are ready to enter our kindergarten. There's a discount for the application. It went down. Oh, it's okay. Okay, does the discount for the application apply to all students currently enrolled at Calvary Road? So any student at Calvary Road from preschool all the way up to grade 5, because our 6th graders will be leaving us. So anyone who is re-enrolling with us via school speak during the month of January, please don't wait till 11:59 because the system crashed last year. So if you re-enroll during the month of January, you will receive $50 off of your registration fee. And because you all are here with us tonight, if you decide to re-enroll twin, then you will receive $100 off of her registration, but just $50 off of William's registration. Sure. The next question, I'm going to let Ms. President.
The question was asking about digital health, and it's because we are in a digital age, the focus on technology versus interpersonal communication. One of the best things about a kindergarten program is that is basically our main goal is interpersonal communication, how to have social skills. So we use technology as a tool, but it is not the main source of our education. We do a lot of small group work. We do a lot of social work, social activities where we work on communicating with one another in person, not just necessarily through technology. We also do a lot in small groups and whole groups. So we have discussion-based activities as well. So we do make sure that your child knows how to use the technology, but is also a social individual as well.
If I can just jump in down there, I love this question because technology is not everything. And there are a lot of schools that are technology only. And as long as I'm working at the school, that will never be the case. Our kids still have, they have their textbooks, they're still writing, they're still being taught handwriting, and the balance is really key. They're on technology a lot. I have had so many conversations over the last few days of what video games kids got for Christmas. And one of the 6th grade boys was telling me he played it for 10 hours straight on Sunday trying to beat this game. And I just thought, that's crazy. And we don't want to add to that. We want to use technology because we want to teach it to them because they're going to need to use it in their life. But it's not the only thing.
We have a question there from Mrs. Trumbo. Do the children take the Chromebook home for their assignments, or do they stay in the classroom? And the follow-up is, if needed for an extended illness or other reason, are virtual classes available? So what we do this year is going to look a little different than next year. Ms. Snyder, can I throw that to you?
Sure. So yes, this year they do take them home. We are really hoping we don't have to do that with our younger students next year. Mr. Lewis and I every day watch a kindergarten 1st grader almost drop them, and it gives us heart palpitations. We really don't want to take them home every day, and we're hoping we don't have to do that next year. The next question is a follow-up about virtual classes available for next year. I would say at this point, we are planning not to have virtual classes next year. We have a fantastic staff, and I've been so impressed with how they have handled teaching virtually and in class. It's super impressive. It's a very difficult job, and it's very taxing. And it's very difficult to maintain virtual students as well as in-person students. So our goal, unless we still can't open up as normal, is to not have virtual at all. However, if there's an extended illness, we might be able to work something out in those streaming classes, yes. But please keep in mind that all of our classes are not set up for streaming, such as Ms. Bressler's classes.
So we have a question about homework for kindergartners. I'm going to throw that back to Ms. Bressler. And then Ms. Snyder, the question following that
Sure.
is related to COVID. That'll come back to you.
Absolutely.
So homework for kindergarten looks a lot different in a 1st grade and 2nd grade classroom. We do have homework, but what we do is a homework packet, which you're given to through your paper packet. And what it has is 2 required skills, things that we're practicing basically to reinforce what we're doing at school. And then also some extra practice that you can do at home for your own way to help your child at home. The other thing they do have is they do have a Bible verse that they learn every week. We do have spelling words, which start in November, and those are every 2 weeks. We also have sight words that we're practicing that you will practice at home. And then your child will also get a reading group book that they will practice at home with you too. So most of the homework is just practicing and reinforcing what we're doing at school, but it is kindergarten appropriate.
So the COVID procedures this year have been very good, actually. We have not missed one day due to COVID as of yet. That may change, but so far we have been extremely blessed. And again, that's the hard work of both our parents as well as our students and our staff. So one of the things that we have been commenting on is not only is our COVID illnesses really low, but we also aren't having colds. And, we were kind of been laughing because when do you not ever see kids in class all the time with runny noses and coughs and whatever? And because parents have kept kids home, because students are wearing masks, A couple of us were joking today that we might just put a mask on when all this is over from November to February, just to keep those colds away. But you know, we've put some things in place. You've seen the partitions when Ms. Bressler scanned the room. You could see the partition there. The students are wearing masks. They have been phenomenal with those. They really police themselves with it. Most of the time they know if they get up out of their seat, out of those barriers, from behind those barriers, their mask goes on, and we have been able to do that fairly regularly. I will say this though, it is a kindergarten classroom, and they're going and they're sitting on their little spots and their little reading tables, and they're going and sitting on their carpet with each other. They always are masked. But they do have proximity. They share and fight over toys, just like kindergartners do. And so will I say that we keep students distance? I'm not going to say that we're able to do that all the time. That's an impossibility in a classroom. However, some of the strategies that we have, such as the masks, not being able to come to school if you have a sickness, you know, some of those things have really helped and worked. One of our strongest mitigation strategies is not allowing classes to mix. And so Mrs. Morales's class really doesn't mix with Mrs. Hatcher's class. And that's kind of sad. And for me, it's sad because I feel like I don't know even the staff as well this year. But helping us keep groups separated has really kept us healthy. And so thank God we've been fairly healthy and just have been extremely blessed.
And there's a follow-up question there on what is the policy for teachers and staff getting the COVID vaccination?
Yeah, so we are in the process right now of really trying to figure this out. What is the mandate of the state going to be? The problem for us is we usually have to follow mandates from states, and there's not information being handed down yet. There's not information being handed down by the county or by the state. And so we're kind of waiting to see what those regulations will be. I did see today that Fairfax County teachers got a notice to go ahead and start signing up for their vaccinations. We will be in that pool at some point. If you know, it's all kind of a scheduled out who will get what when. But will we mandate it? Right now, we're just researching that. I don't think we will mandate it for staff or students, but honestly, we'll go with what the state says we need to do.
I don't see any additional questions there, but one question we always get is, do kindergartners take naps? So who's going to answer that? Ms. Hatcher? Mrs. Morales is going to answer about kindergartners and whether or not they take naps. Let us know if you're unable to mute yourself. Unmute.
Okay. So no, we don't take naps in kindergarten. And it usually is, well, for us this year, the first week was probably the biggest transition. After that, they kind of got along, they got adjusted to the schedule pretty quickly. But typically what we do is we have all of our core subjects in the morning. We have math and we have reading. And then right after lunch, we have Bible and either science or social studies. And what we do throughout the day is we have little 10-minute brain breaks here and there where they get to do songs and dances, just get out of their seat because it's not good for kids to sit in one spot for too long. And in the afternoons when it starts, you know, once they've had recess and they're kind of starting to get more tired, we just have a little bit of like a silent reading time where they can just flip through books and it's quiet and calm, but they're still learning and we're still having our educational time, and they get inside recess in the morning, outside recess in the afternoon. So that kind of helps balance everything out a little bit. So they're able to work through the day.
Excellent. Another question we often get is about recess and that busy time and how the children are able to get their wiggles out. Mrs. Hatcher, do you want to talk to that for us?
Absolutely. You know, the beginning of kindergarten, you know, they kind of struggle at the beginning of the school year, just sitting still and getting back into the groove of things, of getting into the groove of school. And so we just kind of take brain breaks throughout the day to get them adjusted. We'll do a go noodle dance, or we'll do some kind of song or dance, or Just something to get them up and motivated. I know I do a lot of counting songs and exercise and counting just to kind of get them up and motivated. And then we also have inside recess, in the morning. So they kind of have a break then and doing some inside recess and inside play and social time. And then in the afternoon, they also have outside recess. So that kind of gets them, going and gets their jitters out.
Excellent. So a question there, Mrs. Williams asked about parents who have children currently enrolled pay the registration fee on school fee. You will make your choice of how to pay that registration fee on school fee, but your registration fee for current families will be done through your FAFSA agreement. So if you have paid your tuition in full, you will still have to make a choice when you re-register, and then you're welcome to either call the business office or call myself and let us know how you would like to pay that registration fee. So again, for brand new families, the registration fee is normally $460 for every student every year. But if you choose to register with us after the admissions process, then we would offer registration to you for $410. But we must get your application during the month of February. For current CRCS families, again, that registration is normally $460. If you register during the month of January, we will take $50 off. And because you've joined us here tonight, we will take an additional $50 off. So your re-registration fee for your kindergarten student will be $360 for this year. The question is, do you have outside recess even when it is cold? Or rather, when does recess not happen? Ms. Snyder, I would throw that to you because
How come you give me the hard ones? So basically our rule is 32 degrees and under. We do not go outside, although we might go outside for a quick walk or a shortened recess. But 32 degrees is kind of our cutoff point. And if you go to Michigan, they laugh at that because they're out at 0 degrees.
So we do evaluate that on a daily basis. When we want our children to dress appropriately, we know it's a short walk from the house to the car and a short walk from the car to the school door. But that winter coat is very important because unfortunately for some of our little friends, they don't get to play outside if they don't have the appropriate outerwear. So question is about the lunch program. So for our current preschool families, you know that lunch is included in your tuition. When your child gets to elementary, in a non-COVID year, lunch is optional. This year, we have required that our elementary students from kindergarten through grade 6 bring their own lunch to school every single day. In a non-COVID year, your child would have the option to pack or to purchase. And then they would let their teacher know each morning whether they have packed their lunch or whether they have purchased their lunch. Those that would purchase would go through the lunch line upstairs, and there is a monthly menu that rotates. And we always like to say if they don't like something, they can wait 30 days because it's not going to come around again for another 30 days. So ideally in the fall, we'll be able to offer lunch again, and it is offered at a nominal rate and is a per day charge. So your child would only be charged when they go through the lunch line and physically take a lunch. For kindergarten, I believe it's last year, I think it was $4.10. And it is a well-balanced lunch, which will include a protein, a grain, a vegetable, a dessert, as well as a beverage, which could be apple juice, milk. On special days, there is chocolate milk, lemonade, cranberry juice, or water. And so we hope to be able to offer that again to our elementary school students. But some of the teachers have actually enjoyed having lunch in the classroom. Sixth grade says that they love it. They get so much more done because they don't have to go up and come back down, and the children don't have to get seated and go through the lunch line. So there are some pros to having the children eat lunch in the classroom. So that's yet to be seen as to what we will do come fall. Do we need to provide children with their own sanitizer? So part of our mitigation strategy this year is that we have sanitizer everywhere you look. There's a sanitizer wall dispenser in every classroom. There are freestanding sanitizing stations on every hall. We have mobile hand washing stations on every hall. All of our preschool classrooms have hand washing stations within the classroom. which means that your child does not have to enter a restroom in order to clean their hands. And so that's one of the things that we will probably keep up because, as Ms. Snyder said, the sniffles are like gone. We have not had the colds, and usually every child has a box of tissue on their desk and a little, sanitation bag so that they're not up and down to the tissue box. So in that sense, you will not have to purchase sanitizer, although it will likely stay on the school supply list because it's just a good thing to have on that list. More questions? Okay. If there are no more questions, I do want to thank you for joining us tonight. Again, I will reach out via email to thank you for coming tonight and also give you a link to our application. That's what I forgot. There is no application fee. So for our brand new families that are coming into us, you may fill out that application without obligation. It lets us know that you are interested and it helps me keep up with you so that if we get to the point that the classes are filling up and I have not heard from you for a while or you have not answered a recent email, I would definitely be able to reach out and keep up with you to let you know how admissions are progressing. So again, at no application fee, and for joining us this evening, we'd love to offer you a discount on your registration. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe and God bless.